Are you fiery and competitive? Or maybe you're an overthinker and always have cold hands or cold feet? Or you might feel really calm and really stable. If you resonate with any of those, this is probably to do with your characteristics and the qualities that make you up. In Ayurveda, we know that as the 3 doshas that exist within all of us. The 3 doshas are made up of the 5 elements. That's a really pivotal concept within Ayurveda. And these are Vata dosha, which is made up of the elements of air and space or ether. Pitta dosha, made up of the elements of fire and water. And Kapha dosha, made up of the elements of water and earth. Now, we have all 3 doshas existing within all of us, but they exist in varying ratios. So I, for example, am predominantly Pitta Vata, but I still have that Kapha dosha element within me, just at a much lower ratio. And there are positives and negatives to each. But when one of the doshas or multiple doshas tip into an imbalance, it can lead us feeling in this state where we don't really feel content in our life. And so I'll be talking you through some tips and tricks to get you back into a state of balance and harmony if you do feel like you've gone off balance. But first, let's talk about the positives that we experience. For those who are Vata dosha, they tend to be really on the go, very productive, able to get a lot done, which is amazing. But also, sometimes when that happens to be an imbalance, it means that we can feel like an overthinker. It means sometimes that impacts our sleep, because before we go to sleep, our mind gets really, really busy. That excess of the air and space element can also impact our digestion, leading to bloating and gas. But there are lots of things we can do to get Vata dosha back into a state of balance. Think about eating a grounding, nourishing meal. Instead of getting home and rushing to get on with all of the tasks that you have to do, instead think about taking a moment to sit down and have a cup of tea or any warm drink to help stabilize you. And also using abhyanga, which is oil massage, on your feet before bed can again help ground the heaviness and the movement of Vata dosha. With Pitta dosha, people tend to be really intelligent, very hardworking, very driven, amazing, amazing qualities. But sometimes it edges into that competitiveness. Sometimes our ego can get in the way and we feel this really intense anger or this rage if things don't go the way that we want them to. And again, lots of things we can do to balance this out. What we're seeing here, if it tips into an imbalance, from a physical perspective, that manifestation of rashes, of redness on the skin, of inflammation, is the excess of the fire element that you can literally see. And so what we want to think about doing is reducing foods and drink that already have that heat. So maybe reducing the amount of coffee that you drink, reducing the amount of red wine that you take, and increasing foods and drinks into your diet that have a cooling effect that will help cool down that increase in fire. Coriander is a great example of this. Trying as well to do exercises that maybe don't spur on that competitive edge, but you do so for the nourishment of your body and your mind. So going for a walk or taking a swim. Those of us who have the Kapha dosha, we are predominantly made up of those elements, water and earth. What's really wonderful about being around someone who is Kapha dosha is they feel very stable and grounding to be around. They go with the flow, they're kind of quite chill. Nothing really fires them up that much, so they feel like quite a stable and balancing presence to be around. But of course, like these other doshas, it can tip into an imbalance. So an imbalance would be a little bit too much of that earth element, a bit too much stability and stickiness are the qualities that mean that sometimes those who have a predominant Kapha dosha feel really stagnant. They feel stuck. They feel like they don't have too much energy and they want to just stay horizontal and not feel the movement, not feel the invigoration of life. So to get out of that state, it's really good to incorporate some foods like chili into your diet to help reinvigorate yourself. and to try and encourage yourself to do some sort of movement. Even if it's a gentle walk or going and taking a 20-minute workout class, some movement is better than none to help shake up that stagnant energy that the imbalance may be making you feel. The doshas are there to alert us if something feels not quite right and to get us back into a state of harmony. And hopefully some of these tips and tricks today will help you to recognize, firstly, what character type do you feel you resonate with the most? And then what kind of issues are you experiencing so that you can understand how to self-heal according to your dosha.